Hey everyone, a weekly check-in time. We're going to be checking in on, the things that you need to know in order to be dealing with the upcoming energy of this month, okay? We do have the full moon coming up, which will be followed by the start of Mercury retrograde on the 9th. So, if you haven't started feeling that already, you probably will be soon. I know this pre-shadow period for this particular retrograde has been pretty crazy. So, it's keeping us all on our toes. Running a competition at the moment as well, guys. So make sure you do leave a comment on any of my videos throughout November to go in the draw for a free personal reading. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications on so you keep updated about that. Like I said, we do have the full moon this week, so the next video you will see pop up will be the shadow work reading, so we can dive into that sort of stuff for ourselves, keep it moving forward. Today we're going to be using the Soul's Journey lesson cards, and then I do have the origami lenormand to clarify. Timestamps will be in the description box as always, so you're more than welcome to jump ahead to multiple placements there as well. But starting off today with our Aries. Aries, what's going on for you this week, Aries? What do you need to sort of pay attention to this week in order to get through the rest of the month? Aries, what does Aries need to know this week, please? Paying attention, Aries, to your pride. Okay, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So, being prideful of the good qualities that are within yourself that you do see within others. And, a lot of the time when we see a good quality in somebody else, it is actually a reflection of part of ourselves as well. So taking a little bit more pride for those things that you are sort of discovering about yourself. Also being very careful not to allow pride and ego to sort of run the show here. We're balancing that out this week. There might be sort of some things going one way and the other, with your energy, Aries, making sure that, because I do keep hearing that phrase, pride goeth before the fall. So just keep an eye on your pridefulness, and especially too where you're not being prideful enough. All right, so taking ownership of your good qualities, but also not allowing those to sort of inflate the ego. Aries, what does Aries need to know this week, please? What's going on for our Aries? Pardon me, Aries. The bottom of the deck, I feel like that's actually advice for you here, Aries. We do see the tree followed by the heart, and then the clover. So this is kind of like, you're growing and maturing the way that you perceive love, and you're starting to sort of invest in love a little bit more, and taking a bit more of a chance, a bit more of a risk to be a little bit more vulnerable with people. If you're not already doing that, that is kind of advice for you here, Aries. It's kind of telling you that you've healed more than you realized, Aries. You are growing and healing a lot more, at much more speed than I think you even realize yourself. So, be prideful of how much you are growing and healing when it comes to issues of the heart, especially here too, because we do see your main message this week does seem to be, connected to relationships and heart space stuff. Firstly, though, we do have the crossroad, the pathways coming through here. So, multiple pathways opening up to you here. There is some sort of a choice or decision that you're needing to make when it comes to drama in relationships. All right. So we have the whip here, and followed by the ring. Okay, so this is sort of specifically, it's kind of like choosing your path carefully, treading carefully, choosing, peace over the constant fighting kind of energy is kind of what's coming through here. Choosing your battles wisely and picking those battles wisely, and choosing the path that doesn't lead to conflict. I feel like for a lot of you here, Aries, that sometimes your pride has sort of made you engage in drama or engage in that conflict because you just couldn't handle to be wrong or whatever that may be. But this time around, it kind of talks about that you're kind of choosing. It's a choice you're making, a conscious choice, and it's your free will that is deciding whether you choose to engage in drama and conflict, or whether you choose to, make something a drama or have a fight about something, or whether we're going to choose another path. And like I said, with the growth we're seeing for you with your heart space on the bottom of the deck there, and you're taking chances and you're investing differently into love and relationships in the way that you're showing those things. I feel like for a lot of you, you really are choosing a different pathway to what you may have chosen in the past here. You're sort of not letting your pride get in the way of resolving conflict. So I feel like this is all about conflict resolution or avoiding drama in the first place, so rather than feeling the need to, the Aries fire and allowing that out so much, you're kind of being a little bit more thoughtful and conscious of the way that you're moving through relationships in your life, and is it worth the fight kind of thing? Is it really worth the fight, or is there a way to resolve this without the fight and without the drama? Okay, Aries, so pretty good week for you in that sense, because it's once again, it's be prideful of the fact that you're proving to yourself this week that you have grown and you can deal with things more maturely than what you may have in the past. All right, so kudos to you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you drop a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Taurus. All right. Taurus, what is going on for Taurus this week? Taurus, what does Taurus need to know right now, please, to deal with all the upcoming energy? Courage, Taurus. I find the inner strength to face fears with confidence. All right, so this is, having the courage to, do that thing, say that thing, step outside your comfort zone this week, Taurus, and really using that inner strength of yours to shine confidently, even if you're scared. This is not saying that there's no fear there at all, because it's about overcoming that fear and doing it anyway. Yes, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. That kind of thing, Taurus. So there may be a few challenges your way this week that are asking you to, face them. Okay, but we'll have a look here with the lenormand. Taurus. What is Taurus needing to know this week, please? What's going on for our Taurus? Yeah, okay, so the courage is got to do with transitions, I feel, here with what I'm seeing, because we firstly have the coffin coming through for you, Taurus. So for a lot of you, this is going to be the perceived ending of something in your life, the death of a situation that has occurred. So, you may have, for some of you here, it's you've lost an opportunity, or you've lost a job, or you've ended a connection with somebody, or ended a relationship of some sort. But the coffin reminds us that, death is just the beginning, that death actually allows a rebirth to occur. So there is a very strong transformative energy with the coffin. All right, and especially too with the next card we're seeing for you here is the key. So this closing that part of your life, or closing that thing in your life, closing the lid on that, it's really actually creating like all these brand new opportunities for you. The key is like a hallway full of doors. All right, and if you hadn't have closed that door behind yourself, you wouldn't have entered this hallway full of opportunities and doorways that you're now able to, choose which door you wish to walk through moving forward. And all doors lead to success with the key as well. So for a lot of you, I'm just picking up that for a lot of you, this may actually have to do with, career-based stuff for a lot of you this week. But, it's all about having the courage to, say goodbye to those things that are no longer serving you, so that you can, say hello to the brand new opportunities, and have the courage to, go and go ahead and open a brand new doorway for yourself and walk on through and see what's on the other side. We do also see the clouds coming through for you. So, there may be a little bit of indecision, a little bit of anxiety about, which option do I take? You may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with option when they all sort of pop in for you this week. But it's just sort of reminding you to not get your head stuck in the clouds this week, Taurus. Really sort of look for the silver linings of what's going on in your life at the moment, and the things that feel like an ending or feel like the death of a situation. To look for the silver lining and realize that, well, now that that's over and done with, now I can actually put time and effort into something new, and really, maybe a little bit of a struggle this week to face things like anxiety and getting sucked into the overthinking about all these things as well. But it's just a bit of a reminder there to focus on the new beginnings that are going to come from this, the rebirth of this transformation, having the courage to get out of your head and just start enjoying the opportunities that are going to start coming your way, Taurus. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you drop a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. Any video throughout November, you will get an entry for each comment. Okay, but we're going to move on over to our Geminis. All right. Gemini, what does Gemini need to know this week? What is going on for our Geminis? Gemini. Indecision. Oh, that's a rough energy for you this week. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So there's something that you've probably been, questioning. Should I do this? Should I, why am I feeling like that's the thing, but I'm not actually doing anything about it? It's kind of like there's something in your life at the moment, Gemini, that you're feeling very drawn towards, or you're feeling like, oh, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? But you kind of, I feel like for a lot of you, your the indecision is coming off the bat of like fighting your intuition. Your intuition is kind of trying to tell you, yes, go ahead and do this. Whereas you're kind of going, and kind of fighting that draw, that pull to do that. But, that gut instinct that, yes, you should just do that. You're kind of fighting it this week, Gemini. But we'll see what that's going on about here. Gemini, what's going on for Gemini this week? What does Gemini need to be aware of in order to move through this energy, please? See, and I don't know why you're indecisive, Gemini, because we have really good energy about this. Firstly, we have the Stork. It's kind of telling us, that I do feel that it's just, it's talking about perspectives and different ideas. And I feel as though you're allowing your fears to create the idea that your brain is kind of running with of what's going to happen here, the consequence of, you're allowing your fears to sort of tell you what the consequence is going to be. Whereas there's other ideas, there's other perspectives of this that you kind of need to stir the shit out of yourself, Gemini, and just go for it. Like the Stork really does stir you into action a little bit here, and I feel it's like it's just time to make movement one way or another with that Stork here, and it's just, I feel like the indecision is because the idea in your head doesn't match what's going on, and the thing that your intuition is trying to push you towards, it doesn't match the idea that's in your head. Okay, so it's like, just as an example here, you're in your head, you're saying, yes, I'll know it's the right, I'm just going to say a car, for example. Yes, I'll know it's the car I want because it will be blue. But then you're getting given this opportunity of a green car, which is everything that you want, but you're telling yourself, oh, no, it's not right because it's green, it's not blue. And it just feels something like that your wishes and dreams, they're coming to you, but in a way that doesn't quite fit the idea of what you thought they would be. because we do have the star coming through next, Gemini. So, the wishes are coming true for you there. There is a reason to hope and be optimistic here. And these goals are being realized. Your dreams are being fulfilled. But they just may look slightly different to the idea that you've got in your head of what they are supposed to look like. And I feel like that's what's sort of holding you back here and holding you in that indecisiveness. We do see the key coming through as well, which, leads us straight to success. So we're seeing the stars coming, like the stars, they're leading you straight to success. So you've got, for some of you, this could also be mentioning, some sort of fame as well, like success in a very seen kind of way, whether that's social media or some sort of famous kind of energy there as well, getting stirred up for you here. Very visible kind of energy is coming through there. It's kind of very you being very visible in some kind of way. I don't know what that reference is specifically, but it's keeps telling me visible. So I think it's all to do with the way that you're seeing it as well. Like your perception is very, very hard lined this. But if you look outside the scope of that hard line that you're creating that image of, it's right there. It's right there. So close, but it's just not 100% exactly what you thought it was going to look like. So you're questioning it. All right. So, but there's a lot of opportunities here where your goals are going to be met, and your, the wishes coming true for you here. It's kind of just the start of these opportunities. It's just like the first step of all these doorways that are going to open up for you. So it's kind of like you might have 10 doorways to walk through to get to that final goal. But you're kind of stopped at that first door going, but is this the right door? Because it doesn't look like the final goal. Whereas you're not realizing that this is just the first step towards that final goal, if that helps kind of make sense for you there, Gemini. It does just talk about, starting to take action, get moving kind of thing, and start walking towards your dreams, because they're so close you can taste them, Gemini. They are very, very close. And you're just in a bit of a indecisive energy, but your intuition is already trying to sort of drag you kicking and screaming anyway, so maybe just start listening to that a little bit more. All right, but that's what we've got for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, make sure you leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we'll move on to our Cancers. Cancer, what's going on for Cancer this week? Cancer energy. What does Cancer need to be aware of right now? Humor, Cancer. It's not that bad. It's not as bad a situation when you can laugh at it. Okay, Cancer. It says, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So choosing to see the humor in a situation rather than, and choose, like it's kind of wanting you to actively choose to laugh it off, to choose to maybe try to see the funny side of the situation, or the not even always the funny side of the situation, but the lighter perspective, the more happy perspective. It's kind of like there's something here where you maybe previously have been focusing on the dark and dismal perspectives rather than seeing the light and bright and happy perspectives of situations. And it's kind of steered you towards those more negative results because you've been, gearing yourself towards those. Pardon me, Cancer. Having a look here with the lenormand, Cancer. What's going on for Cancer this week? What does Cancer need to be aware of coming into November? Definitely seeing a lot of stability and just inner security coming through, as you are actually in a more solid space than you kind of realize that you are. We have the House and the Bear coming through first. So the house does talk about, your safety net, your comfort zone. And the bear really is, putting those boundaries around that comfort zone. And, the bear is like the fence, the defense system, the security system on your security, if that kind of makes sense. You've got your house that is your sense of security, your comfort zone. And then the bear is, the safety fence around that to make sure, no one can get too close. It's very interesting, though, because the third card I have here, Cancer, is the mice. All right, so it's kind of telling us that you've built up this comfort zone and this safety net around yourself via stress about the past and kind of by being very aware of what you've lost in the world or what what's been taken from you, and a lot of past energy coming through here. So yes, the past has built this I've got to stay in my comfort zone kind of energy for you here. But the humor card is asking you to maybe step outside that comfort zone of because it's very much like giving this energy of the past has taught you that you need to have your walls up and that you need to be defensive. Whereas the bear and the house it's actually very stable energy, and you don't need to have those walls up quite so high. The best way to you've got to sort of lower them so you can let the light in, kind of thing. And you're sort of more stuck on past ways of being than the current climate around you. That you've got these big walls around your house to protect you from wolves, but wolves died out in your area 10 years ago. So you don't actually need to have those walls up all the time anymore because there's no more wolves at your door. That's what it's kind of talking about here, Cancer, that it's time to sort of see the lighter side of life, and that, hang on, well, when I do let down those walls, there's no longer wolves. So now I can let down those walls and I get to actually watch all the birds, and, I can see, squirrels running around, and it's actually really nice. Wow. I feel like you're missing out on a bit of the lighter side of stuff, the happy stuff, the humor and the good natured energy around you, because your walls are still stuck very, very high from things that happened in the past, and those things are no longer in your environment, so you don't need to protect yourself from those anymore. But it's kind of talking about getting out of your comfort zone a little bit here, Cancer. Embracing the humor and the lighter stuff in life, instead of feeling as though you can only embrace the darker side of life because that's comfortable, that's what you've known up until now. So a bit of a deep message for you there this week, Cancer, but make sure you leave me a comment and let me know if that resonated for you. You will go in the draw for that free personal reading, but we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what is going on for you this week? Leo energy coming into the full moon and the retrograde. What does Leo need to know, please? Discipline, Leo, discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. All right, so being a little bit more disciplined with yourself. It is actually telling me routine. Being disciplined in the way that you're setting your routines for yourself, and being very disciplined as in, I will do this, I am going to do this, and then I do this. That at XYZ time I'm going to do this and then I will do that. And I'm getting sort of seeing you sort of making checklists and making like even a diary planned out for your days and things like that, and being very disciplined about, oh look, I'm sorry, I've got to stop this conversation now because I need to go and move on to the next conversation. That kind of energy, that you're being very disciplined with the way that you are doing that. You're saying like, oh, I can spare you 10 minutes. I can talk to you for 10 minutes, but then I do need to go and, do this next thing on my list, So I feel like for a lot of you, it's being very disciplined with people around you as well, that you are setting those sorts of boundaries about, I can give you 10 minutes, but I need to then go and give somebody else 10 minutes or go and take 10 minutes to myself, or, whatever that may be for you, and being very disciplined with yourself with that, sort of not sort of, getting distracted Okay. Leo, what's going on for our Leos this week? What does Leo need to be aware of this week, please? Yeah, it's because, you know, there are things trying to distract you this week, Leo, and this is why you do need to be very disciplined this week, because we have the whip coming through first here. So there is like drama or conflict or, you know, arguments and things like that, you know, beating yourself up for things. So for some of you, this definitely could have to do with, you know, being very disciplined about the way that you're, you know, making changes within yourself, because you have been sort of beating yourself up about not doing those things. So this week is really a good week for you to sort of turn those things on its head, so that if you've been telling yourself, oh, I'm going to start exercising, this is the week to actually put that plan in place and to start doing that and sticking to that schedule that you give yourself, you know, in order to overcome that you know, self-flagellation kind of energy that you have been in a little bit here. It's because you've just been in a bit of conflict, and very kind of similar to what we saw for, I think it was Gemini, that you have been in a little bit indecision about where you're going, because we have the pathways coming through next. So there is a little bit of a conflict about the, you know, choosing to do things, and when I'm choosing to do things and why I'm choosing to do things, and once again beating yourself up for not being able to make a choice one way or another. Whereas this week it does seem like you are making those choices. You're overcoming that drama within yourself about that indecision, in order to, you know, make more conscious choices, of, you know, how to avoid conflict within your own self, as well as, you know, with others around you, how to avoid drama. You're kind of consciously choosing to step away from drama, and conflict, and step away from, you know, punishing yourself for not being what you want to be, by actually being very disciplined with yourself and putting, you know, putting rules on yourself, I suppose. But these are actually long-term changes that you're making for yourself here, with the lilies coming through there as well. So we see free will, moving into long-term energy. So these are long-term choices that you're making here, and they're going to, you know, it's going to help you know where you're going longer term in your life here, and it's helping you choose your inner world as well, because the lilies is being kinder to oneself. It's being very emotionally vulnerable with oneself, and intimate with yourself, on a very sort of deep level here, and it's making those changes and making those choices that are connecting you to the person that you want to be more long term here. So this is actually like a kind of a good thing, with the way that it just may sort of come through a little bit harsh on yourself, you know, especially during the start of the week, I feel here, Leo. But it's kind of talking about making, you know, using that discipline to force yourself to be kinder to yourself. So instead of being harsher on yourself, you're actually using that harshness and turning it into a kindness to yourself. So it's actually quite interesting energy there, and quite strong. You know, if you can do this, you can continue on doing this for a very long time. You know, in a very positive, shifting kind of a way for yourself, Leo. So it is moving forward in a positive way. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. Make sure you do leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Virgos. All right, Virgo, what's going on for our Virgos this week? Moving into the full moon and then the retrograde energy, what does Virgo need to be aware of this week, please? Virgo. Discipline. All right, so you did see me shuffle, right? I well, hear me shuffle. I did shuffle there, but that is actually the same card that we got for Leo as well. So those of you who are on the cusp or have strong Leo placements, you may just want to check the Leo portion as well, since we do have the same sort of overview card coming through. But this is, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. For you, I feel like this is actually like encouragement that, yeah, you can do it, Virgo. You can accomplish whatever you do set your mind to, that your accomplishments are greater than you allow yourself to think they are as well, that you are actually more disciplined than you give yourself credit for, or more capable of self-discipline than you give yourself credit for, Virgo. Clarifying this message for our Virgos. What does Virgo need to know right now, please? Virgo. Just wanting an extra clarify here. Why am I seeing those first two cards coming through for Virgo? Can you please explain what the connection is there? Pardon me. Sorry about the coughing, Virgo. I don't start vaping. It is horrible for the coughing. Firstly, we have the woman and the mice. Okay, so I am actually getting two separate messages off this. I do have that clarified by the sun. For a portion of you here, Virgo, this is specifically in relation to a woman from your past that you have, lost contact with. You feel as though that woman was sort of somehow taken from you or lost to you or stolen away or, for this portion of the Virgos, this is and it seems to be specifically a woman from your past that has been taken away from you, and you're having some epiphanies about that situation this week, and you're being very disciplined with the way that you're approaching thoughts of this woman in your mind space, Virgo. Okay, so for this portion of the Virgos, this is, the discipline that you have actually accomplished more happiness away from this past woman than you realize. I'm just kind of picking up on for those of you where this is like, and I feel like straight away that that's you, because you are sort of focusing on this woman heavily within your thoughts and your emotions, and but it's weird because you're not actually as attached as what you think you are. And it's kind of just telling you to kind of remain disciplined about maintaining no contact or maintaining the forward movement away from that woman, because you may be learning something about that situation, or there's something to learn from that past situation, that it's kind of like you have accomplished the growth, but you maybe just haven't consciously seen the message. It hasn't just become a conscious thing as of yet. You're just not consciously aware of the fact that you have already accomplished this growth away from that situation. Okay. For the other portion of you here, this is more to do with within your own self and the more feminine sides of yourself, and feeling as though you've kind of lost touch with the sweet, emotional, nurturing side of yourself. That maybe that has been stolen from you, that has been taken from you, and that's the woman in question, is the sweet, nurturing, loving, emotional part of yourself, the Virgo that's feelings, um, and and that's why the sun is coming through to clarify that, to sort of let us know that you're having an epiphany this week, or things are being revealed to you that's not been taken from you. It's still there. It's still there, but it's just going to take a little bit of discipline to, bring that out and to reconnect with that part of yourself, Virgo. The reading does close off here with the key coming through. So these are all just opening up, learning this about yourself, or having these epiphanies and revelations about the past, or the things that you feel have been lost to you, whether it's a personal part of yourself. Having these revelations are actually opening up new doorways to you, new opportunities coming into your life, and you're kind of really wanting to embrace those new opportunities, and so there's a lot of discipline to accomplish that. You've accomplished a lot more than you realize with this past, having this past stuff taken from you or whatever. You have accomplished more than you realize on that front. And so it's time to really focus on the new opportunities around you, and the new pathways opening up to you here, because that's what's going to lead you to success. Okay, Virgo. So I hope that resonated for you, and it made sense for your particular situation. As we know, it is a collective message, but I do have personal readings open, so contact me through, you know, the stuff in the description box. Will have all my info if that is something you want to delve into a little bit there, Virgo. But you know, make sure first and foremost that you leave a comment on the video so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. You may want to keep an eye out for the shadow work reading in a couple of days. I do feel just intuitively we may get some extra messages specifically about that situation popping up for you in that reading when I do that as well, Virgo. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. All right, and we will move on over to our Libras. All right, moving on to Libra. Libra, what's going on for you this week? What's important for Libra to be aware of coming into this full moon and retrograde? Libra. Okay, paying attention this week to friendships, Libra. It does say, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. All right, so remembering, you know, the connections between yourself and others, and you know, what you are bringing to each other's lives, and really, you know, I do feel just for a lot of you, this is just, you know, showing gratitude for the friends that you do have in your life at the moment, Libra. And, you know, maybe there is a specific friendship that may need just a little bit more attention in your life right now as well. So this particular week is a week of friendship, but also being a better friend to yourself, Libra. Clarifying this message for Libra. Okay, so that's exactly why, you know, because we have the scythe coming through first and foremost. And so the scythe brings with it a lot of changes, okay? And quite often it's things like that have drastically changed, and you know, endings, things that have been cut out or broken free from. So I do feel as though for some of you, this may be talking about, you know, a friendship that you're feeling has been kind of cut out of your life in some way, or broken away from you in some kind of a way, or some aspect of that friendship has, you know, come to some sort of breaking point, so to speak. But it's all about the change of that in your life and the impact that it's having on you this week, Libra. I do feel I am also picking up here that for quite a lot of you, this is why friendship is coming up, because it's not so much your friendship that's breaking or changing. It's something in their life that they're making some sort of big, sudden, drastic change, or, you know, something is you know, ending in their life, or you know, it could be a breakup and things like that. You know, so maybe a friend is going through a significant breakup, or you know, having to cut someone out of their life kind of thing. Because we see you here with the bear energy coming through next. And the bear is sort of very protective, nurturing energies, taking care of, you know, the people and the things that are, you know, important to you. But it's also talking about, you know, for those of you where this is more connected to you yourself rather than your friend, and the drastic changes that are occurring are for you and your direct friendships. It's talking about, you know, being protective of yourself, and being protective and nurturing of, you know, the changes in that friendship, and the need to set boundaries as well, that you're needing to sort of maybe break free from certain parameters, certain boundaries that have been crossed in a friendship. You know, and you're needing to set up those boundaries once again, in order to, you know, have this relationship be the way that it is supposed to be. We have the ring there as well. So it really does talk about, you know, boundaries for the relationship, and you know, putting boundaries up, or you know, protecting relationships. But it's coming off the back of some very sudden, drastic kind of changes, whether that's for you or this friend in your life, or just in friendship in general, the way that you're perceiving friends, and the way that you're making friends, and valuing friendships in your life here, Libra. So, you know, friendships under the microscope for you this week for some sort of a reason there. You may want to, you know, if you know who that person is to you, you may want to check their placement, or check one of your other placements as well. Make sure you do leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Scorpios. All right. Scorpio, what is going on for our Scorpios this week? Happy birthday to all the Scorpios. All right, I've got two of my close friend Scorpios' birthdays are this week. I'm very excited on their behalf for their birthdays. Scorpio. Okay, the lesson to pay attention to this week, I should say. We have service. Okay, Scorpio. I feel good when I can help others. Scorpio, your energy, even though I'm not, none of my super really big, strong placements are Scorpio. I do still have Scorpio in my chart, but it's not one of my significant placements, I suppose, is the best way to put that. But I do feel as though you guys quite often play off things that have been themes in my life recently as well, and straight away this is telling me something about my own personal life. This service energy, I feel good when I can help others. It's been coming up a lot lately about that in order to be true to oneself, that sometimes we're not. It's not always about the way that we are as personalities or whatever. Sometimes it's realizing that I enjoy helping other people. I enjoy, I am a good person, and I actually, I want to be able to help people that I care about, and I want to be there for people that I care about. Of course, I do feel that there is a couple of you here where it does sort of cross over into people pleaser type territory, which, if you're that sort of person, like myself, it's part and parcel. You just need to learn the level energy, the balance of that, rather than people pleasing, but also not hiding that part of yourself where that's just part of your truth, is that you do feel good when you can help others, that it does help you just as much as it helps them to be able to care for and help and be sweet and kind to your people. So that's kind of what's coming through here. And for those of you where you're kind of like, I don't like helping others, I do feel that there is a part of you that you actually do. And you're kind of like maybe needing to just embrace that softness for a little while this week. Okay, I know that it's all about you at the moment, Scorpio, but there's just something coming through about you giving yourself to others and giving your kindness and your sweetness to others at the minute. Scorpio, well, it comes back to that. If you wish to receive, you need to give energy, right? But we'll clarify that a little bit more here. Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know right now? Not allowing it to become a responsibility or a burden upon your shoulders, definitely, with the cross coming through first here. So once again, being very careful not to cross into that people pleaser territory, where it becomes a responsibility that you're taking more care of somebody than they're taking care of themselves. It's more about teaching others to help themselves, or that kind of energy, rather than taking over and doing it for them. But it also does show us that this is have faith that there's a reason that you're like that, Scorpio, that it will come back to you, that this is part of your spirit, part of your soul, part of your kind of destiny, I suppose, in a way, to be that way. So stop sort of beating yourself up about giving so much to others, because that is just part of your truth. That is just part of who you are. All right. It's part of the plan, I suppose, part of God's plan, I suppose, part of your connection to spirit. So don't sort of feel the need to beat yourself up about it. That's just keeps coming through. We do have the Tower coming through here as well. So once again, it's just kind of accepting that this is part of your foundation, part of the structure of who you are, and not hiding from that, but also at the same time knowing that it is okay to take time to yourself in amongst all of that it is okay to, when you have been giving too much, to isolate yourself for a few days and sort of have that time to give to yourself as well. That, if you feel good when you can help others, you allow yourself to feel good when you can help yourself as well. All right. And we do have, very, very wise words coming through here. We have Yoda. This particular deck does have this special edition card, which is Yoda. So for some of you, there may be some Star Wars significance for you this week, or I'm just picking up that may be for one of my birthday friends specifically, because I'm pretty sure she's a big fan of Star Wars. So there may be some sort of significance for her with the Star Wars stuff coming through there. But it's also very much about, once again, that it's teaching coming through here, that helping others. It's not always about helping. It's about teaching people how to help themselves. And, in amongst it all, isn't that what Yoda does? It teaches Yoda, like Yoda teaches how to bring out your own best qualities and how to bring the force out of yourself. So we see the force here with the cross and whatnot. So, and you're kind of really helping others learn how to utilize that part of themselves where they can then go on and then help others from there. So wiser than you think you are as well, Scorpio. So just trust in that and know that there's a reason that you're feeling drawn to help. And for some of you here, it's not so much helping as teaching others to help themselves. All right. So that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment so you can go in the draw for the free personal reading as well. And we will move on over to our Saggies. Sagittarius. How is everything for you this week, Sagittarius? What does Sagittarius need to be aware of before this full moon and retrograde hit? Love, Sagittarius. Love conquers all, Sagittarius. It does say, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Okay, so when I see this card come through, quite often it talks about this concept of, there's no such thing as good versus evil, that it is actually love versus fear. All right. And so that straight away is telling me here that, you have been looking for the fear, looking for the reasons to deny happiness for yourself in a lot of ways here, that the looking for the evil, the bad consequences rather than the good, positive, happy consequences that are possible for you here. Choosing to see things from a perspective of fear of the bad rather than, well, hope for the good. So it's just asking for you to remember that needs to be in balance. Darkness and light need to be in balance within ourselves here, Sagittarius. I am straight away getting references to shadow work for you. So definitely keep an eye out for the shadow work reading on Thursday, the 6th. It'll be the next sort of reading uploaded, I imagine. But we'll see if it wants to give us any more info here, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to be aware of this week, please? What's going on for our Sagittarians? Yeah, and this is not necessarily about showing love to others. This is all about you, Sagittarius, and loving yourself and not allowing yourself to fear the bad all the time, and not allowing yourself to only see the bad of yourself, to allow yourself to see the good in yourself as well, and to love yourself. We have the fox coming through first for you, Sagittarius, which, it's kind of a bit of a selfish energy, and you do kind of need to be a little bit more selfish about the way that you're treating yourself at the moment, because, I do have that followed up with the lilies and the moon, which are both much more softer, feminine, emotional energies. Okay, so you're needing to be a little bit smarter about the way that you're allowing your emotions to, rule you in a negative way. And, the fear and the negative emotions and the not wanting the past to repeat itself, and not wanting the bad consequences and things like that. And the fear of things going wrong. You need to be a little bit smarter and trust your good emotions as well, and trust your intuition a little bit more, that, good things are trying to come in for you here. You're just not seeing that at the minute, Sagittarius. And the fox asks you to, it's kind of like, it's very protective kind of energy. It's very independent energy, and it's kind of needing to, I hate to be confronting here, but you're needing to be a little bit more, not just self-serving, but a little bit more taking personal responsibility of your emotions, and keeping that negative stuff in check a little bit more here. You need to be a little bit more consciously, intelligent about keeping that in check, keeping those fears in check, and showing more love, and you doing that as a more conscious choice. And it's one thing, yes, the fox survives by doing what needs to be done, but you're at the point where you need to survive and do what needs to be done, and say what needs to be said to yourself. It's not all about holding back anymore. All right. It's about the softer stuff, allowing the softer stuff to come through, and not allowing fear to overtake the sweet, loving sides of yourself. Because, with the lilies and the moon, the lilies is being kinder to yourself straight away. It's being very honest and open to yourself and your emotions, and being very vulnerable with and intimate with how you do truly feel. Not just the bad stuff, all right? It's the good sides of things as well, especially with the moon here too. That's emotional sensitivities, that trying to tell yourself, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter to me. It's not clever. It's not intelligent, because you're denying the truth of the fact that if that is triggering you, it means something to you. Things that we don't care about do not trigger us. Okay, if it's triggering us, there is an emotional sensitivity there, and we need to, be a little bit more nurturing and honest with ourselves in more positive ways, to really address those things and move past those things. And your intuition is trying to, pop up here, and you're kind of very you have been denying those softer, more feminine emotions, which are kind of fighting your intuition at the same time. So you're not trusting your gut instinct with things, because you're allowing fear to kind of rule over your intuition here. So sorry to be a bit confronting there, Sagittarius, but I'm just the messenger, okay, guys. But you definitely may want to keep an eye out for the shadow work reading. We are getting very close to that full moon where we do the shadow work readings. But definitely leave a comment, and make sure you can go in the competition to win a free personal reading as well, Sagittarius. But we will move on over to our Capricorns. Capricorn, how is all the Capricorns doing today? Just checking ahead, Capricorn, what needs to be known coming into this full moon and then the retrograde energy? What does Capricorn need to know, please? What's going on for our Capricorns? Purpose, Capricorn. I know what I am here to do. I am here for a reason. Me being here on this world is no accident. And it doesn't matter what my purpose is, no matter how big or small my purpose is, I am here to get the job done. And hell or high water, I am going to do it, says Capricorn this week. Okay, so I do feel for some of you, you are really kind of discovering your purpose this week, whereas for others of you, you're just sort of, it kind of feels like a bit of a knuckling down and going, well, I'm really opening up to my true purpose, and it's just sort of clarifying in some kind of a way, where you're moving forward with that, and kind of knuckling down and getting to business. Okay, but we'll clarify what wants to be added here, Capricorn. Capricorn, what's going on for Capricorn this week? What does Capricorn need to know? Capricorn. I'm kind of feeling like a no longer hiding energy from you, I'm not hiding my purpose here anymore. There's no need to hide my purpose, that I'm here for this and I'm going to get it, and I'm not going to hide it from myself or from anyone anymore. We start off with your card, Capricorn, the Mountain. I'm willing to put in the work. Yes, I know there's going to be hard work ahead. I know there's work, but I'm a Capricorn. I can climb any mountain you put in front of me. That's why I am the mountain. I am the immovable force. I am the one. I am the obstacle for others to try to overcome. Which, when I am the mountain, I won't let them overcome me. I'm the blockage that stops their path when I need to be. But when I see a blockage in my path, I find a way around it. I climb that mountain anyway, even if there's a sheer cliff face. I do what is needed. I do whatever I have to do in order to climb that mountain and get to the other side. I put in the work. I'm determined. I'm perseverant. I can do the work. Strength in oneself, Capricorn, that you are an immovable object, an immovable force to be reckoned with. And there's a lot of confidence in yourself coming through for you this week as well, and in your purpose. That once again, no matter how big or small your purpose in this world is that you're standing strong and firm and solid in yourself. Even if you don't even know what your purpose is, you're kind of like, well, it doesn't even matter. I'm solid. I'm good. I can do it. Whatever it is, I've got it. I've got this. Pardon. We do see the garden and then the birds coming through for you here as well, Capricorn. So a very social kind of energy coming through here. Both of those are very social, butterfly kind of energy when they are together. Because, the garden is all about meetings that need to take place and conversations with the birds here as well. So there might be some important conversations that do need to take place, and sort of get on the same page with somebody, meet somebody halfway, compromise a little bit about, getting on the same table. I'm bringing this to the table, you're bringing that to the table, we're getting on the same page, we're having those conversations that we need to have in order to move forward here. But it can also talk about events and because I am getting a very gossipy, flitty, kind of chatty energy coming from that birds there. So we do see, social events and things like that occurring with the garden, or even if that social event is just meeting a friend for coffee, or, going on a date, or those sorts of things. There's a very flitty, casual conversations taking place that are very important in order to, overcome obstacles in your way. And you're kind of very determined to have those conversations and make them work for your purpose, and make them, become part of the purpose. I am also picking up here with the garden and the birds, that there is a social media kind of thing for some of you here. Very flitty, chatty energy with that as well, being seen, I want to say, which I'm going to take that because, as you may have noticed, the channel has, had a lot of new subscribers in the recent weeks. So, welcome. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining the crew here. I'm a Capricorn myself, and yeah, the social media stuff, I really want it to sort of fly off and take off. I'm at that point where, I started this channel just for friends and family and for my own, I need to get these messages out of me one way or another, right, guys? So I'd rather be helping you and sharing those messages with you than keeping them to myself. So I know that is part of my purpose in this world. And, if I can share that with as many people as possible, that is amazing, and, of course, as we all know, being Capricorns, that, as much as we don't actually care about money, it's very, very useful in order to move things forward and to be able to help people even more. I am sort of trying to move towards that goal of, becoming a monetized channel, which I'm currently not a monetized channel. So I'm really loving everyone joining and leaving comments and, going in those competitions for the free personal reading, all that sort of stuff. Everything that you are saying, you know, I love that I'm sort of getting that really good feedback from you guys. You know, so sorry to sort of go off on a bit of a tangent there, Capricorn, but you know, it is giving a very social media presence for yourself here, and the things that you're saying, Capricorn, are being listened to and appreciated, and it's helping others. That you are this, you know, your purpose, and you knowing your purpose is in some way helping others, even if you aren't aware of it. All right, so just obviously want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of you guys, but you know, there's people around you who are trying to, you know, give a huge shout out and thank you to you for you helping them, and for you knowing your purpose is sort of enabling others to understand theirs as well. All right, so it's a very flow on effect for your energy, Capricorn. You guys bring much more to this world than you realize. All right, so keep it going, pass it on, share the love. Yeah, leave a comment so you go in that competition as well. And I will move on over to our Aquarians. Okay. All right, Aquarius, what do you need to be aware of this week? What is going on for Aquarius this week, please? Aquarius, peace. Ooh, such good energy for you this week, Aquarius. You know, it's kind of giving very muchly no news is good news. I say this as you know, you'll hear me say this a lot, is that, you know, sometimes the readings, they'll come through and it's very much nothing big and huge and dramatic and significant is going on. So, you know, we're getting these messages of, well, you know, nothing happening is actually a really good thing. Sometimes it's the calm before the storm is what's coming through for you here. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. So it's a really good week for you, Aquarius, to just sort of catch up with yourself and, you know, allow some of the stuff that you've been going through to just sort of settle. Nothing huge and crazy going on for you this week, which sometimes it's a really good thing. Like I said, though, I do feel it's a little bit of that calm before the storm. So enjoy it while it lasts as well. All right. So just picking up on that there as well, Aquarius, that enjoy the peace while it lasts, because you may have some hectic stuff coming up in the near future. But we'll see what else wants to come out for you here, Aquarius. Aquarius, what's going on for Aquarius this week? Anything Aquarius needs to be aware of this week, please? Definitely moving towards some more stuff going on. These two actually came out together. All right, we have the pathway and the snake. So the pathway came out on top of the snake. So this is, it's kind of talking about choosing to deceive, choosing to be deceived, choosing, because the pathway is consciously choosing something. And then the snake is, you know, it can be a deception, it can be a betrayal, it can be, you know, it can be passion, it can be very sexual energy as well. It's Scorpio energy, choosing a Scorpio, choosing if you're going to listen to the Scorpio, choosing if you're going to be with the Scorpio in some way, choosing what path you're walking. You know, because the snake is interesting energy in the sense that, you know, if you're walking down a path and you see a snake, it's like, obviously the snake doesn't, the snake will either attack or disappear. So it's kind of like you're choosing what sort of snake you're going to be this week. And if a snake is, you know, comes across a boulder that it can't get over, it finds another way around. So it's like you're choosing to find other ways around things this week. So rather than necessarily facing things head on, you're choosing alternate. You know, you're choosing to move like this instead of straight lines this week. it seems to be specific to this letter energy. Okay, so the letter is some sort of news or communication or expression. So you're consciously choosing whether you're going to put on a like I do feel for a lot of you it's got to do with this deception, this illusion, just like because a deception doesn't always need to be, oh, it's a crazy deception. Pardon me. It's like choosing to put on a mask and put on this illusion of I'm fine, everything's fine. I'm fine with that. Yes, yeah, that's okay. And expressing yourself in that way in order to get the result that you're wanting. In order to sort of keep the peace, we have the anchor there as well. The anchor, once again, it's very calm before the storm kind of energy. So I feel like that's actually exactly what it is. It's you're consciously choosing to take another path around the issue, to put on an illusion, to deceive your true feelings on a matter and express yourself and communicate that illusion just in order to keep things stable and steady and peaceful, rather than what it could be. It could be that storm, right? So you're kind of choosing the path of least resistance, which seems to be putting on a mask and putting on this illusion that of calm, and I'm fine with this, even if it's not 100% the case. You're just choosing. It's not that you're denying yourself anything. It's that it's just easier for you to just go along with it than to fight against it, because it's kind of like you picking your battles kind of thing. That once again, I'm getting very much no news is good news. So this is the most important thing going on in amongst nothing, if that makes sense. So it's just, and that's what it is. It's like, I don't want drama this week, so I'm just going to stay out of it. It's kind of that. It's just choosing to pick your battles, that this is not worth fighting about. It's not worth disrupting my peace over. So I'm just going to walk on past that issue and pretend that it's fine and not even look, So you're just kind of maintaining the status quo of peace, and not getting dramatic and not going overboard and not because it's kind of giving me this energy of like, yeah, we know that you could go full tilt at this if you really wanted to, but is it really worth it? Your peace is more important this week than doing that, and creating a storm where we have an anchor holding us steady. Why would we want the storm when we can be quite secure and stable? And we can just depend on the peace right now. So, I'll take the peace while I've got it kind of energy, Aquarius. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but definitely keep an eye out for the shadow work reading coming up soon. And, make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. We will move on over to our Pisces. All right, Pisces. How are you, Pisces? Coming up to the full moon in a couple of days. Definitely keep an eye out for the shadow work reading, Pisces. We do have Mercury retrograde hitting not long after that as well. What do you need to know leading into this? Pisces, what does Pisces need to know right now? Trust, Pisces, trust. Oh, I feel like that's a hard one. Not going to lie. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So do you know what? When you freaked out when I said you have to pay attention to trust this week, Pisces, it's not trusting others that you're paying attention to. It's trusting yourself. Sometimes that's harder, not going to lie, but it's that inner voice that is trying to guide you in the right direction here. Your intuition, that gut feeling, the trust that you know what's best for you. All right, so it's not doing what everyone else wants you to do this week, Pisces. You're trusting yourself and your own judgment and your own, inner guidance, that it doesn't matter if other people want you to do that. You want to do this, so just do it. Like, trust yourself and know that, well, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do what I need to do for myself, and I know it'll all work out somehow, even if it goes against what everyone else is telling me. Interesting. Let's clarify that for you, Pisces. Pisces, what's going on for Pisces this week? What does Pisces need to know right now? Following your heart, it's kind of like, it's pretty solid, pretty much exactly what we've already said here. We have the heart coming through first, following your heart, trusting that inner guidance, trusting that you're, trusting your emotions as well, because they are, clues to what your intuition is telling you here. Being loving with the way, having that, it's not just loving in a romantic love kind of sense, it's unconditional love, Pisces, and really embracing unconditional love for yourself, and for others around you this week. We have the tree coming through there, as well as Yoda. Okay, so Yoda is very much connected with that tree energy, in the sense that it's very wise, very, very wise energy, that your heart is trying to share wisdom with you this week, Pisces. Your heart is healed. Your heart has grown and matured much more than you realize. And, you are more healed and grown and mature and wise than you may think sometimes. Or I'm picking up this energy of being treated, okay? So I am picking up this energy of people not treating you as mature as you actually are, and that's why we're getting this bit of a fight between, the external energy around you telling you, oh, Pisces, do this, do that, whereas your heart is telling you, no, I want to do that and this instead of that, instead. And so really needing to just trust your heart and follow that this week, because you're in that little green man hiding down in your heart that is trying to tell you, look, Pisces, you already know. Just trust yourself. The force is with you. You've already grown. You've already healed. You're already capable of growing and healing. You're more mature. You're able to be more mature than maybe other people give you credit for. The force is with you. May the force be with you, Pisces. It's strong within you this week, okay? So trust it. Trust it. All right, but you are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but make sure you do leave a comment. Maybe some of you there do have some sort of connection to Star Wars as well, Pisces, but leave me a comment. Let me know how that resonated for your particular situation. You will go in the draw for that free personal reading as well, and I will see you all again soon.